Due to popular demand, we will forego our national anthem. And now, ladies and gentlemen, let's get ready to rumble!
Oh, we get a lot of shots. Everybody come to the net. We just have to get more and more pucks to the net.
We used to talk about in Vancouver getting pucks on net and
pucks on net.
Well, that's the key. We got to get the puck on net.
What were you saying about putting pucks on net?
Continue to put pucks on net and
it's just getting pucks on net.
Pucks on net and driving it and making it a hard night on them.
Oh, live on tape from Geeta's apartment, her palatial estate on the 23rd floor. This is Pucks on Net, a Vancouver hockey podcast that doesn't talk about fantasy or...
But we do talk about the Monday Nighter.
Okay, here's the problem. That pass was from Dak to Dez.
Can you...
I know.
Live on tape from Geeta's apartment, her palatial estate on the 23rd floor. You're going to want to listen to this part, Geeta. This is Pucks on Net, a Vancouver hockey podcast that doesn't talk about fantasy or fancy stats.
Especially another sport. If Paul was here this
oh
week,
my God,
he would have left. He's a vapor trail.
Okay. At one point yesterday, I told Ryan I was down by 70 points.
We're not, oh, shut. As long as we're not talking about the anthems until the final segment.
Hang on, I gotta get this off my chest because since Geeta brought it up,
yep.
Nobody cares.
Nobody cares.
Nobody cares. Nobody cares.
Oh, I don't care what you care about, Dave. Get
Nobody
out.
cares. Nobody cares. Nobody cares. Nobody cares.
I want to thank everybody for joining us wherever you got us from.
Keep at it.
Nobody cares.
Make sure you follow us on Twitter at PucksNetCA or PucksNetCa. And we're recording this podcast should sound a lot better because if you support, we bought a new mixing board with our all the Patreon money. It's fixed our problems.
This one's made out of wood. It's real sturdy.
Yeah, it ain't going nowhere. It's So I want to thank everybody. And if you want to support the show, throw a couple of bucks.
Couple of bucks.
You can head on over to patreon.com/pucksonnet. Dave, what are you doing?
This light is tripping me out.
Are you gonna turn it off?
Yeah,
it's flickering. Watch your headphones there.
It's because I didn't have any light bulbs.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm not really good at changing.
How many Geetas does it take to change a light bulb?
6.
I wait till a man comes over.
Hey, Dave, we did this. We already
We're males, but I wouldn't say we're men.
Men could build a house or a cabin. That's that great Seinfeld bit.
We're not men.
We're not. I guess we could just say this new mixing board has all these effects in it. So now if you want to sound like you're in a cathedral, you just talk like this.
Oh, ooh. Wow.
It's so spacey in this empty arena in Raleigh, North Carolina.
Oh, I think it's actually BC Place.
That's on 5 minutes for paying.
I'm so glad I paid $400 to hear Paul McCartney echo.
That's great.
Oh, that is fun.
So you're not going to auto-tune us?
No,
when the Canucks play Minnesota on a Tuesday in November, it's going to sound a lot like that.
Now, this is going to be a hard podcast to record because there's nothing going on.
And apparently Geeta's fantasy team's got something on the line with this Monday Nighter.
Nothing's going on. It's
very important.
Yeah. I was down by 30 points on the first.
Geeta.
I think it's hilarious.
So we're not going to talk about any anthem stuff or any hockey players reacting to the anthems until the final segment.
Okay.
All right.
Because I think people need a bit of a break from that.
That's still going on?
Yeah, well, it's even worse. It's seeped into hockey now.
That was yesterday.
Yeah.
Did it go any further today?
Yeah, because Austin Matthews has said stuff, and and all the Americans.
Well, you know, when I'm looking to figure out how I'm going to live my life, I want to hear from a 19-year-old millionaire.
A sheltered.
Sure.
Yeah.
Who grew up in a gated.
It's definitely seeped into NASCAR, which is where it should.
Wasn't it draped all over NASCAR in a big white sheet? If you like the left turn-in league, f*** you. I don't like you. If somebody starts talking to me about stock car racing, I'm just like, how much longer do I have to stand here and pretend to know you?
It's like when Geeta's talking about her fantasy team and Des Prescott.
She's a rookie, so I was a little hard on her just now, and I'm sorry. She's got that new rookie I'm excited thing going on. She's a noob.
We all know. It's not like I invited myself into this league.
Biggest regret I had of my life is getting her in this fantasy league. All we hear
you
about.
You thought it'd be easy W's, not so much. Like kind of like the Las Vegas Golden Knights, who were amazing in the preseason.
They are great.
You know what's not great?
Their Twitter?
What?
Their white gloves and their Twitter.
Their Twitter's trying so hard.
They're trying to be the LA Kings, but they're not the LA Kings.
Yeah, that sounds. Yeah, that's fair.
because they've probably hired like a 19-year-old
And sassing
social media expert.
sassing the Montreal Canadiens.
I mean, it's funny, but
What did they say?
ew.
What did they say?
they said, something about them winning all their cups when there's only 6 teams in the league.
It's like we are proud of winning all these preseason games, just like you're proud of winning all those Stanley Cups when there are only 6 teams in the league.
That's the thing. That's the stuff that people say.
There
You
was
don't
12 in the
necessarily-
70s. Thank you very much.
That's bulletin board material. We've been over this. But like, yeah, it is pretty ballsy considering you've never played or won a real hockey game.
No, and if you're an expansion team, just
You're just happy to be there.
pay your dues and be respectful.
I got to give them some credit because they are trying to be entertaining with it as opposed to just,
It's free hot day.
That's
milk
the thing,
toast
like,
Canucks Twitter.
Comedy is such a fine line.
It is.
Because one minute you're hilarious, the next minute
well,
you're
that's the
trying
thing.
real hard. Did
Yeah.
you hear what I said earlier about that joke?
Especially if you manage the Twitter account for a company that is going to get scrutinized in the media,
Mm-hmm.
you've got to be very careful that there is no way to interpret the jokes that you are making.
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah, I don't know. I think this was okay. I just think it was a little bit bold when you're the new kid on the block. But also the white gloves. I don't like it. I think it looks awful, especially because they're getting a little bit marked up by pucks. It just makes their hands look dirty.
They're gonna look gray and
Yeah, it's no good. Just the jerseys are fine. I got no issues with the home and the waist, especially the way they look on the ice. I think they look great. Just put some black gloves on. I think put some black gloves on. I think they will.
I think so too, and I think that when like
it is terrible. Like no kids are gonna buy those.
You know what they look like? It's gonna look like when goalies have their practice pads.
Yeah, and they're all
Yeah, it look like a beer league.
So there's an actual product you can buy at the hockey shop.
Okay.
Really?
That gets rid of those puck marks.
So we're looking for sponsors.
Like
so tell me more,
Mr.
Dave.
Clean Magic Eraser?
It kind of looks like a Tide to Go, but it's specifically for goalie pads. But
Okay.
yeah, if you're a really big goalie nerd, you kids out there, and I know you are.
Yeah.
If you're the backup goalie for your high school hockey team, you can just sit there and remove your number 1 starter's puck marked up pads.
In between writing down shift blanks.
Yeah, that's right. hey, that was 122. You got to get down to a tight 115.
I wonder what other stains that'll remove. I didn't mean it that way.
Oh, all right.
Didn't you?
Scuff mark.
I just like to say, Dave, you came from work and you're in a bit of a no fucks given kind of attire. You're wearing the old pucks on net bird and a matching Grizzlies snapback.
This is the I've got roughly 2 weeks to go on this movie.
Nice.
And the wheels are in motion. Here's the thing about being a production manager.
Mm-hmm.
Elaine, let me tell you something about show business. It's like, so my job is to like lay out the plan of how this thing's going to get done.
Yeah.
Sure.
It's kind of like I'll use an analogy for sports because it's a hockey podcast. It's like being a general manager in the playoffs.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
Teams made.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So like,
You're drunk every day.
yeah, like, we can't, the delivery date for this movie is coming up. We can't push it anymore. So it's like, well, I set the plan that you got to get it done by this date. So come hell or high water, good luck to you.
I mean, what else can you want me to
So
do?
I'm there for moral support right now.
High fives.
I'm high-fiving people. I'm telling people they got to stay late when they don't want to stay late.
Aww.
But yeah, no, like that's the thing. Like, there's really not like I'm keeping track. I'm reporting and
Yeah.
observing. But like, really, at the end of the day, now we just got to get across the finish line. Give
Well,
110%.
Just gotta get
Work the pucks up the boards.
pucks on net.
But
hard in the corners.
No, it's looking good. It's looking good.
Just like that hat. I like that snapback.
Yeah, man.
Oh.
I'm so tired. I just don't have time to put any effort in. I look like Poochie the talking dog today.
There was an uproar in the fancy stats community this week because a TSN guy asked some of the stars of the league what they thought of him.
Uh-oh.
Who
And
asked what?
somebody at TSN asked
Do you like analytics?
Eberle, Pat Kane.
That's all the guys who have bad fancy stats.
Like a reporter?
Yeah, somebody at TSN did.
Pat Kane's got more turnovers than fucking Pillsbury, bud. But it's because he tries stuff, and that's my argument. I don't want to derail you, but like that's the thing about the fancy stats. Like, you know who turned the puck over more times per year than anybody in every season he ever played in?
Someone who has the puck a lot.
Gretz.
Yeah?
Because he would, Geeta's making a very good point. What those analytics don't tell you is if you're turning the puck over a lot, it's probably because you got the puck all the time. That's a good point.
That's fair.
Also, like, you're trying to make plays.
Yeah.
You're not just chipping and chasing. You're trying stuff.
That's
so
fair.
a guy like Patrick Kane will have tons of turnovers because the puck's in his skates. It's around his back. It's going up and down, all around. It's like a preposition. It's going anywhere the cat can go.
Anyway, like at Eberle, they basically said like nobody's in the room going off like, oh man, my Corsi was great last night.
That'd be a great bar down T-shirt. Chicks love Corsi.
They don't. The thing is, don't ever talk Corsi to me again.
Things not to talk about on a date with Geeta. Hockey analytics.
No, but the thing is, there's probably a lot of players who don't even understand those analytics.
I'm not gonna lie. I've been in this game a long time, and I need a cheat sheet. I did play a hockey team last night in my beer league that had the best team name I've seen so far this year.
What was it?
The Garbage Bears.
The Garbage Bears.
Yes.
What is that?
It's like a black bear that's going through a trash can. That's the logo.
Jeff.
They were dicks, but they had a cool team name.
Okay.
Jeff, his team name is the Vancouver Specials.
Like the houses?
Like the houses. And then they have the logo of the simple box on it, and he's apparently lighting it up. But that's unrelated. I thought of I was talking to somebody this weekend about where you could use fancy stats. And it's to explain if Alex Edler is a great hockey player or not.
He's not.
Is he good?
I don't think so.
Is he bad?
I don't think so.
Like how good is
fine?
he?
I think he's vanilla yogurt. He's just in the fridge and he's sustenance.
Serviceable?
Serviceable.
Like is he going at the deadline? Or would he go for something good at the deadline?
Depends.
They never let go of anyone.
It depends on the GM. Like a savvy GM probably. Okay. Joe Sakic, I want 3 first-round picks, 2 quarter-pounders, a large fry, your best prospect.
And an apple pie.
And a snowblower that doesn't cut fingers off. And a hot apple. Give me a hot apple.
You can't provide that for Matt Duchene? No, there's no
But
deal.
a guy who's a good GM taking over a bad team like George McPhee.
Yeah.
He might move an Alex Edler at the deadline. Like he might move a James Neal at the deadline because he could charge an arm and a leg for him. Like
I just brought this up because we were...
So yeah, I think that you do move him because on a contending team, he's a great bottom 6 on an awesome team.
Okay.
Why'd you bring it up?
We were talking... Airline forgot how good. We're talking about how great Matthias Olin was. And
he was.
You forget how good he was, and you look at his numbers and whatnot, and what an impact he had.
Yeah.
And then, it's like, well, he was really good, and everybody knew he was great and dependable, and was always was very consistent. But then you think of like Alex Edler, who has been fine. When he screws up, it's very noticeable. When he's very effective offensively or hitting somebody, it's noticeable, but you don't notice him a lot. So I'm just curious if the times
So is that not the making of a great player?
If you don't notice him?
No,
on
fact that you notice the good and you notice him.
On defense, you almost want to forget he's there.
Yeah, like Chris Tanev.
Yeah, or I'm like, oh yeah.
So I don't know why I just brought up Alex Edler, but I'm like, that's where I want to know. Like,
when you start watching games from the 500 level, you notice all the holes.
I'm doing that with you on the weekend.
Yeah, I know. I got a rookie shadowing me at Canucks Sports and Entertainment next week.
You have an intern?
I have an intern.
Yeah.
My intern is Ryan.
It's pronounced gopher.
Hey, this is a golden opportunity for you because with the new job, I honestly don't know. You could be witnessing my last game. You could just become. You're just going to take over all these weekend shifts.
I'm Dave.
No one really likes the Saturday night shifts except for me, which is stupid because you get all the best games.
Right.
I'm working Chicago. I'm working Pittsburgh. I'm working Montreal. I miss out on all that Lumbus money, but whatever.
Tuesday night Lumbus game.
Tuesday night. So much Calgary. So much it's good.
Yeah.
You'll like it. It's a good gig, and
but
you do when you watch the game from him up there.
Yeah.
You really notice how bad guys like Spiza actually are.
Really,
It's especially the defenseman.
He didn't come back, did he?
He's wearing white gloves in the desert.
It's too bad Paul's not here because he sees the game from up. When you're at the highest level in that building, like you really notice the defensemen who are good and bad. Like you have such a much better appreciation for how good a guy like Troy Stetcher actually is.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because you see him make the read. Like you see the read before the defensemen do at that level because you can see the whole ice at once without turning your head.
Yeah.
So you see the guys pick stuff up quicker than other people.
Okay.
And you watch a guy like Stetcher on the Canucks. You watch a guy like Tanev, who always seems to know where the safe play is. Tanev seems to go into a corner or attack a play with an out in mind. Like
Okay.
he might. It's not always option A. Like option A is like I'm going to try to spring this guy on a 2-on-1 or whatever. But he seems to be aware of an option B. A guy like Alex Edler or a guy like Lucas Spiza, it's like option A is incredibly creative and intuitive, but there's no plan B. It's either like I'm going to make this gorgeous breakout pass that's going to spring the Canucks on an odd man rush, or I'm going to shit myself. It's like there's no I'll just chip it back behind my own net into no man's land,
course,
and my defense partner will back me up. It's like I think I'll throw it straight up the middle.
Yeah, and that's why his.
Or I think I'll lose it in my skates. Or I think I'll just wait too long and somebody will get a stick in the lane. Like,
So I think that based on that, I want somebody of the hockey analytical community to send us on Twitter some
want a spreadsheet?
information. I want to know on one of those weird charts.
you want a Gantt chart?
Just tell me if he's good or not, and then because this is the situation where I'm like, I can't tell. Somebody tell me if he's good, and I can just move on to the hockey in China or some stuff.
What about Siri?
Let's.
Hang on.
Oh, I have Siri on my computer. Hang on, watch this.
Ask Siri if Alex Edler's any good.
If
anybody will know, that's how the Coyotes are running their team.
Siri, is Alex Edler good?
Here's what I found on the web for is Alex Edler good?
No. Thanks a lot, Siri.
So Siri says no, he's not good.
Siri, you're looking pretty good tonight.
I am?
Oh, she's playing hard to get. So yeah, Canucks were playing in China this weekend.
China.
I don't know.
More
How'd they
importantly,
do in China?
they lost.
They lost twice.
all the time.
Losers.
I don't know if it was a big success.
Apparently, there was no buzz locally, and ticket sales were a little slow. I think they
Did
got
the Chinese know they were coming?
I read a National Post article about it, or Globe and Mail, one of the two, and it just said that nobody cared. You know, there wasn't promoted much.
Mm-hmm.
And can you watch hockey games in China?
There's a professional hockey team in China.
No, like could I watch a game center, like Geeta's game center in China?
No.
Because like somehow the Canucks, they were all over Instagram and Snapchat, and like how do they get internet access? But
they're probably sending the photos via email to somebody back in Vancouver, who's then posting them on Instagram.
So it's really that nuts over there.
Dude, like you cannot. Like Geeta and I have both been to China.
Yeah,
you cannot get things out.
If anybody,
Dave had to use a VPN server when he lived there.
Yeah, that's the other thing.
You can use a
get
VPN.
that.
So
and I didn't have one of those when I got there, and I couldn't download it once I got there.
You get a VPN generator, and then you're in business.
Yeah,
it's
but then
slow, but it'll work.
The Chinese government will come like take you out.
They got bigger fish to fry. They got coal to burn. And they got coal to burn, and they're trying to get to the moon. Okay, it's 1965 over there.
You saw my inability to communicate with you.
Yeah. Well, back home,
new country. Who dis?
Nikita Triumkin had some great things to say.
Triumkin.
Is he a Canuck or is he back in Russia? Like, I'm very confused about him not
We'll never
coming.
see him again.
Well, they have his rights until like 2022 or something.
Doesn't matter.
Yeah, well, he's real bothered by the dandelions and
Yeah,
stuff, right?
This was
maybe he didn't eat at Fat Deli literally every day.
But that's why he was encountering so many stoned people.
Like I eat there every single day, so that's how I know. But like it was like three days out of 5 I saw him in there, and he would eat 2 breakfasts.
That's a lot of food.
But yeah, maybe diversify. There's Fat Deli's fine.
He had
but
the munchies.
try some other restaurants in town like Angkor or Joe Forte's.
I had some really good pizza.
Earl.
Ugh.
I had some great pizza at Parlor last night.
Did you?
Oh,
Parlor's great when you want pizza and side boob.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I noticed like that was something else.
It's a little too much.
There was a lot of boobage, and I'm not ogling. It's just something that seemed to be part of the uniform.
You get a sense of it, and you look away.
Yeah, I was like, holy shit! Like, what's going on here?
No, in the summertime, they literally all wear the same dress, and it's not so much about the front cleavage. It's like, here's my entire breast from a 90-degree angle.
Was that electrical tape on there? Just keeping it in?
No, it's just hockey tape.
Trampkin said that Vancouver is a dope city. And he doesn't mean that like that shit's dope. And he said everywhere you go, it's not just smell. It really stinks of weed.
Yeah, that's accurate.
So he was very put off by the liberal use of marijuana.
He
in
is
this
a
town.
Russian. He probably didn't like all the gays either.
He also, I remember he had like a Jesus figurine or Jesus picture in his stall. I remember PMAX saying
Oh, so
that.
he's Russian Orthodox.
real
So
old
we're
school.
starting to paint a very conservative picture of Nikita Triumkin.
Yeah.
Oh, and this is a real liberal city.
Oh, big time. God bless it. And so are we. I think everybody here is of the same
He also said that
mindset.
he wouldn't discuss going back to here for at least 3 years. And he left because he didn't get any ice time and he was stapled to the bench in crucial moments.
Well, you know what? You're a rookie. Shut the up, Nikita.
Well, I mean, I think Willie might have something to say. I might have some blame about that.
Yeah, no, okay, I don't like Willie Desjardins as a coach. I like him as a man, but not a coach.
Okay.
But whatever happened to the old school mentality that I do support as being a liberal guy, I still support the old school mentality that you're a rookie.
Yeah.
You should be happy to be here. Shut the up.
Well, there's too much weed in the air. He didn't like it.
Oh, God, he's starting to sound like a grizzly. There's no grocery stores in Vancouver. Shut up, Mike Bibby.
That's my complaint. There's no grocery stores with parking.
There's 2 blocks away.
Yeah, why are you driving to the store? Urban Fare is like, I can see it from here. Not to give away your location, but there's 2 grocery stores within 2 blocks of this place. What's that other one?
They're very
There's IGA right over there.
Oh, there's 3. And there's
Urban Fare.
Nesters.
Nesters is over there.
And Urban Fare.
Jesus.
She's driving all over the place. She can't find any of them.
I don't want to spend like $10.99 for some bananas
Yeah, but they're
that are gonna go brown and into my freezer.
but you'll make banana bread in 2 years and it'll be delicious.
Jaromir Jagr, we brought this up last week, but Jaromir Jagr doesn't have a home.
Oh.
And
I still don't.
Did he go back to Prague?
They don't know, or he has a home probably in Prague.
Yeah, Klando. He owns the fucking team. I think he'll make it.
And he's going to make a decision October 5th, which is the day after the NHL regular season starts.
Yeah, but who cares?
So I think that I don't know if that's like a sign of defeat, like he's done.
I think he's trying to put the league on a clock, and honestly, 40-something points last year, and that's all well and good. But like I said, no one in this league is trying to get slower, and he's not fast.
Is he holding them back? Is he going to hold a team back?
He could potentially.
You could staple him to the bench.
Yeah, but but that's a roster spot of somebody that can actually backcheck.
And a cap hit, and as we learned by Joffrey Lupul, the cap is a situation.
Yeah, we should get into that.
We've
later.
never.
That's been quite the soap opera that's been playing out in the papers all week.
Oh, I'm potentially going to name this episode Cam Neely. Like I said, spell it with a K. With a K.
So what's the deal? He had a horrible injury and now he's fine, but the Leafs have moved on with their lives.
Did he have an injury at all?
Sports hernia.
Okay.
And he missed 31 games of the 2015-2016 season.
He didn't play it all last year.
Okay.
Yeah,
so this new young Leafs got established in his absence.
And he's like, come on, I used to be the hottest guy on the Leafs. I used to be the coolest. And now, he doesn't have Snapchat. He's old. He doesn't know how to be one of the cool guys.
No, it's so
19.
true, though.
He's literally 12 to 15 years older than these guys.
He's a stale fart in a room. He's no, what I mean is he the team is I know it's only been a year and a half, but it might as well have been 10. There's a whole different vibe.
Oh my God, yeah.
It's a totally different world aside from Bozy and Kadri, but even they seem to be kind of reinvented, right?
Well, yeah, Kadri figured his stuff out at the right time.
And same with JVR. They've kind of fit in with these new kids. Lupul is from this a bygone David Clarkson era.
I was gonna say Joffrey Lupul compared to those new Leafs is like some guy from the '90s trying to get Brett Hall or something.
Yeah, or when Brendan Morrison tried to come back to Vancouver, and we were like, "The f is this?
What are you doing, pal? Just go home." But I don't know where's a spot for that guy on that team.
There isn't. I don't really believe him when he says he wants to play again. I don't buy it.
I think he's just.
Well, that's the thing. He's become accustomed to a certain kind of lifestyle. He's still getting paid, right? And he gets to live that lifestyle.
Well, now he's living a beach LA or California lifestyle, and he's
Joffrey, and he's all handsome,
coming out with boutiques and jeans and shit.
But he's not.
Man, guys from the early 2000s were so douchey.
Yeah, and
I know.
They loved around 2010 when it peaked.
The Entourage generation.
Yeah. Everyone in their popped collars.
Oh man. I struck while the iron was hot. I fit right into that mold. I was the right man of my era.
But that's
at
the
right
thing.
time.
You and I are of the same generation as the Joffrey Lupuls.
Did you guys have those big goggle sunglasses?
No, I've been rocking Wayfarers since back in the day, but I used to have
With
a
the
lot
puka
of
shells and the frosted
puka
tips.
shells and like the black polo shirts, but with a pink accent.
Yeah.
And I had a lot of very colorful shorts.
Speaking of guys of that generation,
And white belts.
And so Joffrey Lupul is still that guy.
Yeah, he just wants to be that celebrity hockey player. But
Yeah,
now
he's
neither.
still rocking a sidekick. Probably.
He's getting $5 million a year, but he's like nobody knows who he is.
Can you BBM him late night on his BlackBerry Curve?
What do you mean you guys don't like BBM anymore? I got a number right here.
What's that shitty Canadian band that's kind of whiny that everybody liked back then? Simple Plan. He wants to take the girls to the Simple Plan show. You want to go see Simple Plan? Maybe Ashante if you always want to be on time.
Speaking of players of that generation, one of his friends, or I think it's Scotty. I think him.
It is Scotty. It's Scotty Upshaw Lupul and
Shane
Shane O'Brien.
Oh, Jesus. That's the Axe body spray crew.
Yes.
I got to say this.
The accents.
SOB was on Sportsnet Radio last week, and I listened just because somebody tweeted and said he had some good stories.
Yeah.
I like his 8-minute radio hit put the Sedins Players Tribune article to shame. That guy just loved playing here. He had so many fond memories of just partying hard and being a single guy and being a Canuck and being famous. Like, and he was very honest. Like, maybe I partied a little, a little too hard sometimes. But like, I love that guy. Like, he had some very positive things.
He didn't have a very long career, but it was colorful. And people forget that for about a 2-year period, he was a very good defenseman for this team.
Yeah, and he played here 2 years, and then he went to Nashville, and he was still good. And then he's just
he could skate and he could hit.
But
there were some nights where he did look a little bit hairy.
He didn't sweat it all out in the warm-up.
No.
But he was listening. I encourage people to listen to it because he's like, I looked it up. I think he's like 34 or 35, and he's like, he just sounds like he's Crash Davis from Bull Durham, where it's like, it's a young man's game now, boys. I just can't keep up with him. Like, he's so honest and upfront, so he's not delusional. Like,
or are they asking, do you think you could still play?
Yeah, because he played in Europe last year, and he was.
Oh, he did play last year.
Yeah, and now he skated all summer with the young kids, and he wanted to
That's probably because he wasn't making $5 million.
Was he thinking PTO this year?
I think he was trying that, and then he said something nice where he was like, back in the day, I think the last thing I wanted to do was skate in the summer, and now that's all I wanted to do. And so it's like he's kind of got this renewed appreciation for the game.
He just wanted to be up in K-Town, bud, on a jet ski with some topless chick on the lake. Oh, man, I was up in Naramata a couple years ago, right when like prime July season when the guys aren't working out.
Oh, yeah.
And there were nice boats all over the lake. And I'm like, I wonder whose boat that is. And you just hear girls, woo! Woo! Off in the distance. I'm like, oh, that sounds like Shea Weber's boat. So because of the implication.
I put, just from last week, I don't know if you listened, but I put the It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia music subtly underneath it, just to imply that we weren't being completely creepy. Just, it was a nice little subtle nod.
Mac, Dennis, I can't see the shore anymore. Guess we'll have to stay here.
So back to Joffrey Lupul. He claimed, now he's been on, this is an Instagram controversy.
Yeah.
Because he claimed on Instagram, and since deleted, which is always a bad idea, that he posted a photo, like a passive aggressive photo of him snowboarding, which couldn't have been current.
Okay.
And he said he failed his
physical.
Yeah, and he said that they cheated. The Leafs cheated to do it.
Or they cheat all the time.
They cheat all the time on these.
I want you to clarify what that means.
I think that it just means like he's accusing a doctor coming in and I don't know what they're testing of strength.
Like failing him on purpose.
Yeah, I mean, like, I guess he's not well enough to play.
But I feel like that could go either way. They could cheat, like it could fail you on purpose. They could also pass you.
Yes, that's kind of the double-edged sword where they talk about all the players coming back with concussion symptoms in the playoffs.
Being cleared to play.
Yeah, he's good to go. The quiet room was fine. But there was also an accusation from, I think it was Stefan Robidas with the Leafs.
Okay.
And so
he's another one of those. Oh yeah.
Well, then Marian Hossa.
You're a Leaf, winky face.
Yeah. So then Marian Hossa, who developed his allergy to hockey equipment this year, which they claim that he was dealing with throughout his life, but now he's on long-term injured reserve on a team that has some severe cap problems.
Okay.
In the Chicago Blackhawks, and so now people in the NHL are starting to think like maybe there's some tomfoolery afoot, and that they are finding new ways to circumvent the cap.
Yeah.
And especially on the Leafs team, who have Nathan Horton's cap hit for picks.
Oh, he's still. Did these guys even show up for physicals?
I think they just they Skype in or something. Yeah, my head still hurts. I'll see you next year. But
is that a luau happening behind you, Nathan? Gotta go.
That's a whole pig on that spit.
Oh man, it's so good.
Direct deposit. It's all good.
So there's talk that the NHL is gonna
that was funny.
Is gonna look into it, and I'd be really curious to see if this is the new thing, the new cap hustle.
Yeah.
But there's something going on. There's something afoot. And
oh, my foot hurts. Oh, I'm snowboarding. Well, it's different muscles.
So the big news of the day. Oh, I forgot. I just put this in the rundown because I completely forgot that Nail Yakupov plays for the Colorado Avalanche.
Oh, no, he's never getting traded ever.
No,
they don't trade first overall picks.
They got 3 now on that team.
He's almost ripe.
He's ready to go.
He's ripening on the vine. First, we ruin their careers to get the cap hit down, and then we sign them for big money.
Now the NHL should be looking into that. That's a good cap hustle.
I can count my strategies on all 8 fingers I have left, says Joe Sakic.
So we got 15 minutes left before we're wrapping this up. So we will talk. The Pittsburgh Penguins are going to go to the White House.
Okay.
And
they shouldn't go.
No.
Here's what pisses me off is that I'm starting to think that somebody from maybe Washington, from that party or from that office,
the Pittsburgh Penguins?
No, the White House.
Okay.
Said maybe you should announce that you guys are going to come to the White House because the Steph Curry nonsense just happened.
Now I'm gonna stop you right there because you know that the Pittsburgh Penguins are owned by a very prominent Democrat.
Yes, I didn't know that. I did not know that.
Yes.
Who is it?
Can't remember the guy's name, but like the new guy who's taken over the majority of the team from Mario.
Okay.
Is like a very notable like campaign contributor to the Hillary Clinton campaign when she ran. Like,
do you want me to look that up?
Google it. Yeah, I read a couple of articles earlier this week, but have now the name is escaped me. So I was a little surprised by that. I'm like, if it's like a situation where it's like Robert Kraft with the Patriots,
where
he's like in bed with those guys, then I get why you would want your team to show up. But this is like
Ronald Burke.
That's him. Like, this is a guy that like was leading the charge and trying to make sure that Donald Trump didn't become president.
Right.
A prominent Democratic activist and fundraiser.
Yeah, and yet they're going, which is interesting.
So, yeah, and it is interesting, but I just like the timing. Like, I almost think that there was like almost some sort of, lobbying.
But why?
Why not?
And that's the thing. Like, when all the other leagues have come out against what he said.
Yeah.
Why are you?
It's like everything.
Why are you not in solidarity with the other sports leagues?
Because it's the NHL, and they always do the stupid thing.
Because
people can't help but be saved from themselves.
Well, here's the one thing we always say about the NHL. There's almost like an insecurity about being accepted into the mainstream because they are not the top 4. They're like the 6th biggest sport in the United States, and they want to be relevant. That's why they're always so gung-ho about being on on network television or going to China.
So yeah, you're saying that they were probably influenced because they're like going, hey, that's a thing, that's a news blurb.
Yeah.
Do you
with Obama all those years.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think NBC will cut ties with the NHL if they didn't go to the White House? NBC.
No, it's they fired
the
Trump.
Of the,
It's NHL insecurity.
No, I actually think it does nothing but bad things for the league to have Sidney Crosby photographed standing next to Donald Trump. I think this is a horrible decision. I think the players aren't being smart about it. The difference is, of course, is that almost every player on the team is white.
Yeah.
And come from a privileged background.
Yeah.
So I think from that standpoint, they don't fully understand the issues, and they don't have teammates who can provide context of, hey, like, I've been pulled over because of driving while black.
I think it's just Johnny Oduya was
who's Swedish.
Yeah.
So like, it's unfortunate. I don't like it. I don't want to really go on an anti-Trump rant because that's old.
Yeah.
Everyone feels pretty much the same way in this room. If you don't feel that way and you listen to our show, that's fine. Mm-hmm. We don't need to get into that.
You can
believe what you want to believe, but I think that if you do like them, you've got a lot of explaining to do. But that's for another forum.
The thing is, the controversy is just so...
You really got to explain that one to me.
The controversy is so just misunderstood.
Yeah. So...
Pardon the pun.
I think that it's just out of sensitivity to, like, this is a guy who literally was calling for players to be fired. He tried to fire the NFL players via Twitter. He has like literally one of his tweets were just like, "You're fired." I'm like, dude, no.
The owners don't own their players in that way.
This isn't Major League Baseball.
Here's what makes this whole thing even more ridiculous.
Yeah.
Is right now in a territory that the United States is responsible for. These people are American citizens.
Oh, yeah.
On the entire island of Puerto Rico, they don't have power or running water.
And they will not have power for at least 6 months.
Like, leave the football players and the Golden State Warriors alone and go fucking deal with that.
Oh, my God, yeah.
Like, you think Obama would have been doing this? He would have been on a chopper. He would have been there to talk to people and at least for the photo op. And I'm not putting him on a pedestal either, but at least show your face.
No, but the thing is, when you stir up shit about something so meaningless, not that this issue is meaningless.
And it's
that's not what I'm saying.
But compared to what other things, it is trivial.
It takes attention away from what's
nuclear bombs.
It takes attention away from what he said about North Korea.
Nuclear weapon.
It takes the healthcare bill attention away from that.
It's because he always does this.
Yeah, he does this all the time.
And he's got us riled up.
And so we've spent the weekend talking about the NFL and the NBA.
And now it's seeped in. Now it's like the only conversation in sports, in football, was this anthem thing, which is I got no grief with.
I think the most American thing in the world is the right to demonstrate and to it's literally their First Amendment.
Like,
yeah.
It's freedom of speech. It's freedom of expression.
There's nothing wrong with that. And there's
nothing more American than that.
And here's the thing. There's nothing wrong with wanting to protest in whatever way of kneeling or not going up for the anthem. That's fine. And there's also nothing wrong with being upset about that, because everybody has freedom of speech and freedom of expression, all that jazz. But it's just like,
move on with your life.
Move on with it. Like, just, I don't know.
But Sidney Crosby, you're out there listening. I know you are. You're a big Pucks on Net fan.
Big, huge.
Thanks for the donation.
Yeah, we tried to get him on the show this week, but we just didn't have, we got a stack.
We didn't have enough peanut butter and jelly sandwiches. But like Sid, like, man, it's not going to do you or your image any favors to be presenting that guy with a number 45 jersey.
Well, you always think like everybody
don't do it.
Everybody holds hockey players in that regard. These Canadian violent gentlemen.
He doesn't like Canada.
Yeah. But it's like, it just...
And Phil, where are you on this one, bud?
He's like, I'll just go where they tell me to go.
He keeps my taxes low.
Yeah, I don't want to stir any shit
up.
What
do I care about? 70% of my salary goes right into my bank. I ain't paying those taxes.
So you have a Canadian
clanch man. I ain't paying taxes.
You got a Canadian playing an American team saying he's going to go. He's not going to stir up the shit.
Yep.
And just like kind of the hockey players are kind of faulted for, just they don't want to stir anything up. They just want to be regular, just put our head down and go to work. Then you have Austin Matthews, who is from what's the correct term here, because his mother is
he's military family,
Latino,
Hispanic.
Yeah, Hispanic. So he is of Hispanic descent. Yeah, I forget.
He's of Latin descent.
Latin descent. He's in a plane. He's an American playing in a Canadian town, and he's going, I don't want to go. I think it's disrespectful to the flag and all that stuff. And it's like, it's just you're seeing both ends of the spectrum.
Oh, he thinks that not honoring the anthem is disrespectful.
Yeah, he doesn't. Well, yeah,
his
the kneeling.
He comes from veterans and whatever. But like, man,
just like let them do what they want.
But
honestly,
the issue isn't disrespecting the veterans at all.
Absolutely.
Are we surprised that a player during the preseason in an NHL game hasn't kneeled for the anthem?
I think it's
coming.
You know who I said this earlier. I feel bad for Evander Kane this year, because he is going to get shit on if he doesn't, and he's going to get shit on if he does.
But here's the fun.
Should he just stay in the room for the anthem?
The ironic, no, his clothes are wet. The irony is that he's from East Vancouver.
Yeah, and it's like,
and these fans in Buffalo are going to be looking for him to do something. I think that it'll be. I think a player will do it. I think it'll be a white player.
Really?
I do. And I've got some money on a couple of guys.
Well, Sean Avery's not in the league anymore.
No, he would have done it for sure.
Yeah,
and good on him.
Yeah,
he's a very well-spoken thoughtful guy.
Right.
For all his faults, he's a highly intelligent person. I don't think anybody's doubting that.
We put some excerpts of his book on that PDF. He hates John Tortorella a lot.
Oh, and apparently a lot of people do. Apparently Henrik Lundqvist isn't too fond of Tortsi either.
Yeah, if we were running low on content this week, I would have read some aloud because it's some good stuff.
But if you're asking me if I would kneel,
Yeah.
yeah, I would.
I used to always really like taking pride in
But this is all
but it's different
that's
now.
It's so
exactly.
fucked.
I used to like I
I
thought
don't take the kneeling as disrespect to the flag or the anthem.
I think
at
I think it's
all.
a sign of unity. Like,
what if
if my black teammates are being singled out, then I'm going to support them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'd find it offensive if I don't know.
Because there are people that fought for your right to do that.
Especially I'd like to see a guy like
Sidney Crosby.
That's the thing. It's not that divisive if they could find a way to reconcile the fact.
Yeah.
This guy, again, we weren't going to get into it, but this is a guy that was slow to condemn white supremacists.
And he called them fine men or whatever he did.
And then called BLM a bunch of terrorists.
Yeah.
This is not, to borrow a Seinfeld term again, this guy, he's not my kind of guy.
The father would look at me and say, no, inawa shilyo, which means this guy, this is not my kind of guy.
And so I would I don't like it when athletes are political, because I think sometimes it's all right, these guys with grade 12 educations are going to tell me how to think and feel about things.
Well, that's a padded grade 12 education.
Yeah, that's a tutor grade 12 education. GED. But just, take a stand. Sid, come on. We look up to you. It'll be great for your brand. I actually think it'll be great. Steph Curry to me went up 2 notches.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
And now LeBron James.
LeBron.
Yeah, get on that train, baby.
You know what?
Because they weren't
Tom Brady's Mr. America, and he didn't go.
LeBron James
Mama's
and
sick.
Steph Curry, who are at the top of their game, were not prompted in their opinion.
Why?
It wasn't managed by a PR person saying you should or you shouldn't say it, and this is how you should or shouldn't say it.
Why did they have to announce that the Penguins would go that day? Why don't, you know what? If they're going to go, if they're not going to rock the boat, why don't you, if it's a good PR move to, let this bullshit die down and maybe announce it in the new year when he's been impeached or has a heart attack or something.
Right.
Oh, God, one could only hope.
We'll wrap it up. We got 5 minutes left.
Okay.
A couple of questions from Twitter. Craig Gillies, he asks, if Brock doesn't make the team, do we riot?
Brock makes the team.
Brock. I want to start calling him
For
Bork.
Brock!
For
Besser!
For ever or for the 9 games?
No, he can go up and down.
Oh, okay.
We're out of Bork license plates.
Yeah.
No, he's making the team.
Okay.
He's making the team, and he's going to be top 5 in rookie scoring this year. He'll be a Calder candidate. They're not gonna asset manage him. They can't. He's leading the NHL right now in preseason scoring. Mm-hmm. He's right in the mix for that Fedorov trophy.
Plus he's 23, 24-ish?
No, he's younger than that.
Oh,
He's
is he really?
22.
Yeah.
Okay.
At best, he might be younger.
Yeah.
Oh, 'cause, he would have just graduated. I
Yeah,
guess.
he played, I think he did 3 years of college ball.
Okay,
Yeah,
so about
he's-
21.
That puts him at 21, 22 years
Yeah,
old. So,
okay.
But he's ready. He's got the size.
He's
got the
earned it, too.
speed.
Yeah.
He's earned it. And he's effective. And he provides something that the Canucks don't have a lot of, which
Skill?
is scoring. Yeah, skill. So, would you rather have skilly or a guy with skill? You want skill. So
We want skill.
Would we riot? No.
No.
Would we?
We love to riot in this
We
town.
don't riot
Would we be upset
in the fall.
Would
It's cold out, and we're too busy drinking our pumpkin spice.
Wake us up when September ends.
Here's a question from Pagani. Are national anthems
Who
important?
hates me, by the way?
You got a hot take about sandals on an airplane. She's very persnickety. Don't worry about it.
She needs to relax.
Are national anthems important in a sports setting?
I used to think yes, but now I don't know.
You know when it would be in the Olympics.
Olympics when your flag's going up.
You're playing for your country.
There's been some pretty magical moments though around the anthem. If you look up on YouTube, because you guys are probably too young. Even I was kind of too young.
Yeah.
When the first Gulf War
in Chicago
started,
Stadium.
Yeah.
and they brought Well, not in Soldier Field.
Oh, okay,
Right.
sorry.
And they brought out for the Super Bowl,
Yeah.
and they brought out Whitney to
Oh.
sing the U.S.
Yeah.
national anthem. It wasn't Chicago. It was somewhere much warmer.
No, I thought you were going to say the
No.
NHL All-Star game.
No, when they brought out Whitney Houston to sing the national anthem at the Super Bowl,
Yeah.
we will YouTube it after this. It's an unbelievable moment.
Okay.
Also,
With, with the jets flying overhead and all the veterans, I'm okay. I love the Canadian national anthem on Mark Donnelly on Saturday night. It gets me going. I love it. So I think keep it. I also think it's a great barometer of what's going on. I don't think that just because of this we start foregoing the national anthem.
No.
I am a pretty progressive guy, but I do like some tradition.
I say, you know what? I love anthems because it's this moment of
quiet,
of calmness,
Yeah.
and then you get the look. And from a television standpoint,
it's
when
great.
you're looking at Sidney Crosby with the Canadian anthem playing, well,
Here's the thing: they're kneeling.
He's
They're
like, I can't
not
wait for my
sticking
dinner with
their
Trump.
fingers in their
Or-
ears so they don't hear the anthem.
Yeah,
they're simply bowing down.
They're not listening to EDM on their headphones.
No,
now that I would find offensive
that's exactly it.
if Dangerous Wilson came out with his Bose headphones and he started, and he's
Just Sandstorm by Darude.
and he's got
He's listening to Macklemore.
They're all still being quiet. They're listening to the anthem.
Yes.
They're probably all facing the flag, and they're realizing the significance and the importance of it. But they're saying there's something else going on here
Right.
besides blind patriotism.
Yeah, if they're flipping the bird at Old Glory, then maybe that's a big problem.
Yeah.
That would
I
upset
don't
me.
know.
Yeah.
I don't know, but I
Yeah.
think they keep the anthem, of course. Okay, you got any other questions?
What is your preferred arena seat location? Guilty Afternoon asks.
Press box.
12 rows up from center ice.
Peasants. I like to eat off real plates. Oh, you're gonna love the food, by the way.
Oh, I get
It's the best. I heard this from Ray Ferrero himself.
Yeah.
Who told me this himself, that in the last 2 years since they brought in the new people,
Right.
Yep.
it's the best media food in the league.
Well, that's good because I'm shadowing, and that's all I'm getting in terms of compensation.
You're getting a meal.
Yeah, and a whole lot of Dave.
And I'll let you. Oh, I'm going to let you do a period.
I think that's the plan.
Yeah, I'll let you do it.
exciting.
You're gonna do the second period, and if that goes well, and I'm feeling super lazy, I'm just gonna let you do the whole thing.
I turn around,
But
you're asleep in a chair.
But then I'm gonna keep all the money.
He is your intern.
So yeah,
after
if this
all.
goes really well, you're gonna do 40 minutes of this hockey game, and then I'm just gonna put my feet up and just tease Dawn about Instagramming things 7 times a night.
This is my child. All right, so we've got to wrap it up. We have places to go.
Isn't he smart?
We don't normally get political on the show. I think that
I think we did a good job of
Yeah.
tap dancing around it.
And whatever you voted for, whatever you believe, we all said we really like the anthem, but there's also context required in life, and there's other things that are as important. We mean no disrespect to the anthem because we all still really fucking love it, and we want it at sporting events.
And also, if
Both
you're
of them.
Yeah, both of them.
If you're Canadian and you listen to the show, just take a moment to take your passport out. Just look at it.
Just marvel at
Rub it suggestively with your thumb.
So that'll wrap it up for this week's podcast.
Smile at it.
Make sure you follow us on Twitter at PucksNetCA or PucksNetCa.
Canadian.
You can
Can
rate.
I do that in my Snapchat voice next week?
Sure. Rate and review on iTunes. Leave a comment. That's the best way to support the show. If you want to support us monetarily with a couple of bucks. Patreon.com/pucks.net. Throw a couple bucks there. We already recorded 5 minutes for paying, Dave.
You tricked me.
Yeah, we knew we had a time crunch, so Geeta and I talk about.
We can't talk about what we talked about. We talk about those things in secret.
Yeah, I went to 2 sporting events over the weekend.
I saw.
On grass. One of them was really, really good, and one of them was not good at all.
Soccer good. CFL football bad.
No, football good, football bad.
Ooh, which football?
I can't say because So listen to 5 minutes for paying, and then we'll be back next week, and the season starts next week. Thank God, because I hate preseason hockey. It's pretty bad.
It's pretty bad, but you know what? I like to see what guys are going to be playing in the German league are up to.
God bless you.
Good night.
Everyone.
Rock move,